Hey, I don't need this Durabond right now, that's why I'm throwing it out. But I was just talking about the different types of, or why we Durabond. We Durabond, again, I'll say this again, I do remember putting it on my one video, is because when a house settles and shrinks and all of the wood shrinks up, the Durabond stops the mud from crushing together. It stops that drywall from pushing here and crushing it. If I just had regular taping mud in this gap right here, it's just going to crush it to powder, and I'm going to end up with this line. It's going to look just like a line in the wall. The wall can be perfectly smooth and look great, and you're just going to see this line in it. And if I took a razor knife and cut it out, I find out it's just all crushed mud. Durabond stops that from happening. So it's the moisture in the wood that creates the settlement as the moisture settles. It's not so much as the moisture comes out of the wood underneath the drywall. It's not so much that this foundation's going down and it's all sinking in. Footings stop that. You know, in the state of Illinois here, where I live, your footings are nearly 4 feet underground to get past the frost line. So the frost can't lift it. And when you go up farther north, you need it deeper because the frost is deeper. So it's not like your house is settling in, and if it is, you need to talk to your concrete guy. He's screwed up. But your wood's shrinking. All of the wood is shrinking. You know, nails, when they talk about nail pops and screw pops, it's not that the nails and screws are backing themselves out of the wall. That's not happening. The screw isn't reversing itself and coming out of the wall, or the nail isn't pounding itself out. That is not what's happening. The wood is actually shrinking around it. So the wood is all shrinking around it. So the nail or screw used to be in something that big, it's now in something that big. So it looks like the nail is popped out, but that's not what happened. The wood shrunk away from it. And that's what the Durabond, again, prevents. It prevents this stuff from crushing together. The tape stops it from peeling apart. But now I'm going to go back to the 1980s when I worked in Arizona, and we pre-filled nothing. Nothing got pre-filled. If you had a big gap, you went through with taping mud, and you just hit the big gap with taping mud. It's 110 degrees with 0% humidity. By the time you get around to taping it, that's dry. It's dry already. You don't use fast set mud. You got to be fast, really, really fast, because it's just drying out so much. The wood comes out really crooked and twisted and all warped because it's dry. There's no moisture in it anymore. It just got sucked out just from the air because there is no moisture in the air. You're in the middle of the desert. So we never pre-filled anything there. And then everything got a heavy texture. Either a skip trowel, a knockdown, an orange peel, popcorn. Everything was textured because the woods were so crooked. Everything was so crooked. You needed to texture it so it wouldn't be noticeable. You know, here in northern Illinois, everything's smooth. Very seldom do you have texture up here. And that's why Durabond is so important up here. There is no texture. And there gets to be these areas where all of a sudden everybody wants a texture. And then now, 10 years later, how do I get rid of this texture? And then 20 years go by, nobody textures anything, and it's probably about that cycle right now where people are going to want texture again. But and I've done all of those too. But that's the difference. Arizona, we didn't pre-fill anything. There was no moisture in the wood, and it was all textured. Even if it did crack, you really weren't going to see them anyway. So that was it. That's all I had. You have a great day. Hey, I want to thank you for watching. I hope it's educational. I hope you've learned something. So if you really like what you see, please subscribe.